Alright, what's going on? We're going to try to do a one-take video here. So, a lot of people have asked how to use the programming software to create your own code plugs for SCNP25. SCNP25. There we go. It's late night here. So, we're going to be doing a step-by-step essentially from a brand new code plug, meaning you're not using, you're not modifying one of the templates. So once you download it, which the link is in our Discord, in our documentation channel, which is docs, which is in the information category, you're gonna go ahead and download it, and you're gonna get this screen. So if you want to modify one of the default code plugs, you're more than willing to do that by opening it up, but we're going to start from a new one. So we're going to go ahead and click new. So you're going to be greeted with this screen. Now this is very similar to Motorola, so if you don't know Motorola APX CPS, this is going to be something that might be a little bit difficult, and this video will be for you. And users that are familiar with Motorola's APX CPS should already know how to use this. So your code plug ID, this is going to be preferably your department name, so we're just gonna do one for BCSO, and we'll just keep it simple, BCSO. Subscriber ID prefix. So subscriber IDs are what pops up on the screen when somebody else is talking, both on the dispatch console and on your portable in game. So how subscriber ID works is essentially this, as you see, it says prefix. So if you set your prefix to 0000, essentially the people talking in game you're going to see coming up on the radio, it's going to be like 000 and then another number. That other number that you see is their actual in-game user ID. So for simplicity, we're going to keep this as 000, we're going to keep this as 0001, and that the year actually will do 9, and that will signify BCSO, for example. You can do whatever 4 numbers you want. It really doesn't matter. Okay, so the encryption key data field. This is for if you wish to run encryption. As of the current time of recording, which is, let's see, Saturday, April 30th, there isn't really any function for the end user to be able to tell that the encryption is doing anything. But if you wish to use encryption, which from the SCN side of things with management, we suggest that and we also really like it if you use encryption to just use one key across every agency. Just keep it the same, because when it comes to making these dispatch consoles for the clients, it's really difficult. So you're going to enter your encryption key data if you wish to use it. For example, I'm just going to do hello. Or hello, yeah, there we go. Alright, so checking send GPS coordinates. What this allows is for other units that have the GPS function, which we'll go over in a minute, to be able to hit GPS and find your location. End of TX tone, essentially that just goes beep once you're done talking. That's up to you if you like it. It's also what a lot of people refer to as mic clicks. Haha, editor note here, just jumped in. So the talk permit tones are completely separate from the beep that is specified in that video that you're looking at right now. At the end of TX beep, that's completely separate. The talk permit tones, which is your triple beep, you will hear no matter what when using the radio. It's just that end of TX beep essentially means that when you're done transmitting, you'll hear a beep. Just wanted to clarify that because I know a lot of people probably would get stumped on that one. Alrighty, so I guess we'll start off with the radio models, the model options here. So you have a list of them. You can go ahead and Google these models, or look in the model documentation in the Discord. For the purpose of this video, we'll just do an APX 8000, but the variety allows you to pretty much kind of just, it kind of adds some fun realism to it because not every department can afford an 8000. So typically what I like to do is my Departments that that are a little bit more funded, give them an 8,000. Departments that are a little bit less funded, I give them a 4,000. Big thing that the 8000 XE, that's the bright yellow radio. I suggest that hands down for all fireground code plugs for your fire department. And then the APX 4000 XH, I don't see a lot of people using it, but personally, in my experience and messing around with different communities, I've used that model specifically for medical, because it's not quite the highest end, but it looks a little bit more like rugged and field ready. Your XTS 5000, that's a retro one. You can use that if you want to have a training code plug for, doing like LEO, fire training, whatever. XPR 7550, that is really good for DOT, security, anything that's not public safety, because that is a commercial radio, not public safety. And that's the end of the portables. Now the rest of these are mobiles, and you're going to have to mess around with them. Just pro tip, XPRs stay together, 7550 for your portable, 5550 for your mobile. That way it's the same across the board. And then these control heads are really up to what you like, so you're going to have to look through the documentation to see what they are. The E5 is the latest one, but once again, departments that aren't as well funded, Motorola 05 is the way to go. So for the demonstration, we'll just do a Motorola APX 8000 and an E5 head. Boat, I like to actually use the O2 green. And just a pro tip, most boats for LEO fire agencies are considered the emergency class of vehicle, so don't be surprised if you set this to O2 green and you get in game and you see the E5. It just means that if you get into a civilian boat, you will see the O2 green head. And air, you can set that to, I personally like to set the air to 07 or 09. There is a hidden one, a TDFM radio that you can definitely see in our brochure, but we're not going to go over how to put that in today, since you have to actually edit the file instead of using the software. Vehicle options here. This is so if you want to add specific vehicles, vehicle models that may not be under the emergency class, because the mobile radios only will work with emergency class vehicles. So say you want to add a civilian class vehicle that has a radio, that's how you do it. Alrighty, so that's always one of the first things you want to do, because the button options are dictated by the radio model. So button 1, my suggestion right off the bat is you're going to want to do either scan or GPS. So I typically do scan, GPS, and then my next one that I do is scan select. That's all you're going to see on a portable radio. Now on the mobiles you have 2 more options. You can choose that to be volume up down, but again, volume up down, channel up down, and zone up down are all functions that can be bound to a key. So what you could do is volume up down to make it quicker if people don't want to keybind it. Sight, that is kind of just like it's a Motorola thing. Anybody that knows Motorola technical sides will appreciate that feature. So you could just do sight, and then I don't know, we'll just do battery, which is really only applicable to portables. So we'll come back to scan list and scan list options here in a minute. So right now we're going to navigate from radio wide over the channels and zones. As you see, there's no zone, so you're going to click add zone. It's going to create a new zone. Let's name this BCSO. We're going to name this BCSO. Let's just name it BCSO 1, for example. So that's going to change your zone name. So now you're going to click on zone settings, and you're going to hit add a channel. That's going to give you a channel. So now we can change this, BC, we can change it to dispatch. That's your channel name. Now the difference in conventional and trunked, we'll actually come back to that here in a second. So you definitely in law enforcement channels want to have, public safety channels, you want to have the emergency check that allows the man down functionality. RX only, if you wish to at any point make a code plug that's, say, for like a scanner or whatever, you can check that and it'll make it so the person that's on that code plug cannot transmit. And then this is where you select if your talk group is secure or clear. Once again, there's really no functionality at this time. Okay, talk group ID. Let's just use an ID of 1. Okay, so that is that. Now voice announcement. I've already got a few in here from a few code plugs that I've made, but essentially you can go up into your, let's see, I believe it is radio wide, voice announcement. So click on home. You don't have to back out. You can go to home, open your voice announcements folder, MP3 or WAV format, and add custom voice announcement files into there. Just do keep in mind that that is a streamable thing, so it does take network when a user changes channel to do so. Now we'll go ahead and make a new channel here, just to demonstrate what conventional is. So we're gonna go ahead and hit add channel to create another channel, and we're gonna make this car to car, and we're gonna change it over to conventional. And sometimes you might see a bug like this where it doesn't actually do anything. My suggestion is just go ahead and swap back over here and try to get it to work. Sometimes it's a little bit buggy. Not quite sure why it's doing it here. There we go. So you just have to play around with it a little bit. So from here, what you have is again, secure mode if you want to do that. This is your conventional. What conventional means in this script is your car to car. So this does not actually go to the Hilltop radio site, and it's just car to car. So this is strictly based off of line of sight. So my suggestion, please don't use 800.000. You can make it whatever frequency you want. You can make it, 900. For the sake of the video, we'll go 815. 125, sorry, 851, 125. Your NAT code, for RP purposes, it really doesn't matter. This is basically your privacy tone. So in this case, I'm just gonna do 293, which if you know, that's just a common. And then talk group ID, as long as you're not sharing this frequency among multiple agencies, you can just set this to whatever you want. I'm just going to use 2. I try to keep everything in line. And this will be for point to point, so don't be surprised if you get in game, switch over this channel, and it doesn't work. Talking across the map, because that's not its point. Get close to your other tester and test that out. Also note on these, any conventional channels are not going to be on your dispatch panel because it's not something that goes through the system. So just remember that when you make multiple agency code plugs, that you do not reuse the talk group IDs. So if your BCSO dispatches talk group ID 1, you're not going to want to use that for LSPD because then it's going to be the same channel, and that's just not good unless you want to do that, which is essentially channel patching, kind of the getaway. We'll go back to radio wide settings. We'll go ahead and mess with the scan list here. So create a new scan list by clicking plus, scan list, and you basically select your zone, your channel, add to list, boom. So now when a user enables scan, it'll scan these 2 channels. My suggestion when creating your own code plugs is make a zone called interop or have channels named interop, and those are channels that either law enforcement to law enforcement, fire to law enforcement, whatever. I typically use interop and have fire, law enforcement, and DOT capable of getting on the interop channels, and just have 3 of those, maybe an event channel and then a talk around interop channel. You might not ever use it, you might use it, but you definitely don't want your fire guys hopping on your LEO dispatch channels because that's kind of just annoying to do that. So with that being said, all you gotta do is file save code plug, save as. I'm not gonna do that because it'll open up my file explorer. Haha, another editor note here. So very important, and I don't know why I didn't say it initially, but when you save that code plug, make sure you name it as the agency that you want it to be used for. So for example, we would name this one bco.rdcp, which if you name it, for example, 1234, in game you won't be able to type in set radio agency BCSO. So that file name dictates what is going to be typed in game. So for simplicity, just name the file the agency's abbreviation, BCSO, LSPD, SAFR, whatever you use, just name it that, so that the end user doesn't have to type in some long random string or anything like that. So definitely don't match your keyboards on this one. For sure, name it the agency name. But that's all you really have to do to get your channels programmed up. Again, this is going to be a little bit long of a video, but I wanted to go through in depth what everything does, so that there's not too many questions left unanswered. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to open a ticket in the Discord and reach out to us. Thanks. Have a great day.